Hello, I'm Ben with Start to Finish TV. Today I'm going to be telling you a couple of the reasons why I dropped my only regular-ish client. There's a couple of reasons. Some of them are more what pushed me than others. That gig come about through a job posting on Indeed. At the time I was in a job I didn't like, and I was searching for something a bit more in the creative field. And that come up, and I didn't read the job description properly, which is my fault. Yeah, basically, ended up being a case of it was just like an as and when we need you type thing, which is fair enough if that's what they need. So I shot a couple of bits for them. The first few I didn't charge them for because they were like, "Oh, we're just testing you to see like what your style like." Which I know at the time, I just wanted to get out of the job I was in, so I did them. They give me like 40 quid for like travel and stuff because it's not necessarily local. But then after that, they were like, "Right, we want you to come back. We want you to make these things." And they originally said to me they wanted to put me on like making X amount of videos a month for X amount, and then basically they never got back in touch with me, or very rarely did, and when they did I was not available, so we were always clashing in that sort of regard. I think another thing is that because when I took it at the time I'd just passed my driving test, I wanted to get out of the job I was in, and I basically lowballed myself, so I was charging next to nothing for those videos. Now they might think, well, that's all we can afford because of the type of business it is, and they might have thought that was a fair price. I don't think it was, and that's why they did say to try and incentivise me to say, "Oh, we'll pay you slightly more," but they wouldn't have been able to come close to what I would have wanted. Another thing that always kind of frustrated me about them is that they never briefed me on what I was doing, they'd tell me on the day, "Oh, they're doing this today. Oh, well, I've not brought a microphone, or I've not brought a specific lens, or I've not brought my drone because I thought we were doing this or that, or because of what they said previously, and like, next time we're going to do this." So I brought stuff for that, and then there was something completely different. So there were never that communication, right? So for the next one, we want you to do this. We need you to, if you've got any, specialty equipment like a drone or whatever, bring this, yada yada yada. And we never had that. And to be fair, that's kind of my fault for never pushing back and asking the questions. But at the same time, you're paying somebody to come out and shoot you. Surely you tell them. But again, that's probably more on me. I think going hand in hand with that is because of that, I was limited in the way I could edit it. So they were always getting me to do revisions, which is fair enough. But when you're 4 or 5 revisions deep into something you're barely being paid for, it's not worth it. And then, all of a sudden, as soon as I tell them, "Look, I think you're going to be better off finding somebody else," obviously in a polite way, as polite as you can be, they started telling me there were going to be loads of work coming in, and they're paying me more. But I think I'd got to that point where, because I'd said to them, "I think you're going to be better off finding somebody else," I couldn't then go back on, in my brain, I couldn't then go back on myself and be like, "All right, fine, let's shoot this." And the final nail in the coffin is they were getting it. Well, no. They weren't happy that I wasn't available on specific days, but bearing in mind I have an actual job that pays me my actual money, so I can do the video work for a reasonable-ish amount so I can do the work for dead cheap. So it was hard to find that balance. I've made sure to leave it on good terms, so if they ever decided they wanted me back and they'd be willing to pay me a reasonable amount, that was something that can still happen. Whether or not it would be something I'd want to do is another story, but they're all lovely people. I just think for me and my style of what I want to create, it's definitely in a completely different ballpark. And they always say, never work with children, animals, old people. I can't remember what the other ones are, but it fell into them demographics. But yeah, so now I currently have absolutely 0 photo video clients on my roster at the moment. But that's fine, because I'm about to head out and do some more adventuring around the UK for the next couple of months. So fingers crossed anyway, if everything goes through. So I'm not actually going to complain, because I think that the value that's going to give me is probably going to be quite valuable. So yeah. And also, last year, when I did the first part, I managed to create some content about it, which I've not published yet. I've not published because for internal use and all that stuff, so yeah. But I think that turned out pretty good. The colour grade on it's a bit white, but everything else is pretty cool. So yeah, I've been Ben with Start to Finish TV. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below. And be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to be notified every time I publish a new video, which is very rare. But yeah.